What is up, everybody? Yo, Ryan with the Prodigy. We're back with another great report. We haven't done one of these in a while because it hasn't been much to discuss. The Tory Lanez, the R. Kelly, the Weinsteins, all that stuff has since proceeded. And now we're with another issue that's topical, that's a hot button thing in today's time, in the current climate, and that is International Women's Day. Now, I wasn't even thinking about this. I was actually thinking about doing a shout out to some women on Instagram, which we still might sprinkle a little bit of that, because I'm not one of those people that's not going to pretend like a woman can't be powerful and beautiful. I would want my woman to be both. Like, and I think sometimes with society, they convince women for a lot of different reasons. And I'm not saying women don't have the right to feel like they don't need a man, which women need a man, but not in the way that they're saying. I get what they're saying, like, oh, a man doesn't have to pacify and enable me for me to be strong. I agree with that women don't need men. However, to balance you, to make things better as far as, having two incomes coming in a house is better than one. Also, intergenerational wealth is usually built faster over time. It's been proven when you have a woman and a man traditional relationship that's building towards two women, you have a much more balanced child. It's nothing I love more than a woman. Women balance me out. I'm not going to sit here. They have their issues. They get on your nerves sometimes. However, I need a woman. I'm not going to say that. And I think women need men. Society has convinced them as of late that they don't need men, but that's what we're going to talk about. We have an assembled cast of women here, eclectic a group of women here. If you're looking at the thumbnail from YouTube or Twitter, by the way, I encourage everybody that would like to chat about this. You have to do it through YouTube because I'm down on Twitch right now. I'm trying to get it back up as we speak. But YouTube, TJ the Prodigy, that's TJDA Prodigy, to follow what's going on YouTube. Once again, all lowercase letters, TJ the Prodigy, that's TJ DA, the word Prodigy, all lowercase letters, to keep up with all things conversational. Or if you could randomly get this through StreamYard, it's the same thing. I'm TJ the Prodigy. So yeah, we're gonna have a little bit of fun with this topic here. I like talking about a litany of things, not just pro wrestling, not just combat sports. I like to report about general things. I like to give my opinion and give my philosophy because I'm well read and I like to think about different things and problem solve. And that's why we go ahead and do the report for the people that's my wrestling fan, because I used to be trained to be a wrestler for a while. So Cyndi Lauper made waves, but before we get into that, I got to show some love to some people that show love to me. Those are sponsors, and that is Poggers. Yes, surprisingly, somebody wants to support me, even though a lot of people consider me controversial. Go check out their mixers, their cups. If you're into powdered flavored drinks, either for sleeping or for recovery or exercise, they have all those things. You can find that at drinkpoggers.com. That's the word drink plus the word poggers, Poggers. And I have a code. If you use my code, you get 10% off on your product, whether it be the powders or the shakers. You can find that at hashtag, or actually, when you go to the site, go to code and type in, I made it real easy for you, Prodigy Poggers. The word Prodigy, Prodigy, and Poggers. Prodigy Poggers. It helps me out a lot. And once you're done with that, come over to my Twitter. It's TJTime1991, or my YouTube under the comment section under my video, whichever you're comfortable with. And hit me up and say, hey, TJ, send me a screenshot or whatever that you put that code in. I would say at least get yourself one of the mixers. Like, if you don't want the powder, don't get the powder. And make suggestions. If you're more of a liquid energy person like I am, suggest to Poggers, hey, maybe I want to get some liquid drinks. They won't know if you don't tell them. They're going to assume that you like it, what's there, or that you're not being proactive or having input at all if you don't give any type of feedback. Like, you have to understand, if you're not actively working towards something, you're part of the problem. And that's what I look at as far as anything with sales, when you're building a product, whether you're an entertainer or YouTuber, whatever that is. You have to be actively working towards that. And when you're working with other people, you have to be diplomatic enough to know that instead of just complaining or saying I don't like something, give people feedback. Because sometimes people just genuinely don't know because they're not told. Or people be like, you know what, I ain't going to say that. I'm just going to go over here. So if you like more G Fuel, how about helping out Poggers? They're a smaller company. The better competition, the better. Because what happened when things get monopolized, everything gets complacent and things started to not be as optimal or as great as they could be. Because if you don't have competition, why would you try hard? So check that out. Once again, Poggers. Use my code for 10% off. Once again, energy drinks too, Red Bull and Monster. If y'all want to support me, that's cool too. I am in combat sports where I have two of the greatest my brain's all over the place. I just got overworked. Two of the greatest correspondents, and that's Mr. B 1986, Cope's Corner, who has a former brother who's a real UFC fighter. So check them out. They go win you some money every Friday. They have a show called Cope's Corner. And I know I'm giving y'all a lot of information. You can always hit me up on Twitter. It's TJTime1991. Ask for the information again, or on YouTube at TJ the Prodigy. That's TJDA Prodigy on there. And I'm always trying to help people out, help promote things. And contrary to popular belief, I like to help people. But yeah, check that out. So we have a very interesting topic. We're going to get right into it now that we got all the promotional stuff out the way. Cyndi Lauper made some waves today. Now, I like Cyndi Lauper back in the 80s because she was very involved with something I loved as a kid. My favorite thing to watch was called pro wrestling. She was part of the Rock and Rave back in the 1984. She was arguably one of the reasons that wrestling went national in the United States, along with Captain Lou Albano, Hulk Hogan, and Rowdy Roddy Piper, who's my favorite wrestler. I love to death for a lot of different reasons that I mentioned a lot of different times in the past. And Lauper is not making news for a good reason today. It's not girls want to have fun. People don't want to have fun with Cyndi Lauper today because she was making some crazy comments about transgender and turning kids to transgender, which right there, I already had some heat with her because anybody that know about me, adults can do whatever they want. But when you start involving children with adult decisions, we have issues. As far as, to me, we have issues. Like, children need to be allowed to develop and make decisions that are, at a much more consistent pace. And the benefits of both sex parents helps a lot. Now, can gay people raise children in a healthy environment? Yes, technically they can. However, the research suggests that generally speaking, when you have two opposite sex, you get the yin and the yang that you need from parents. Now, I know society makes us think different things. I haven't seen it. I'm more of a traditional person. Let's be clear. This is not about hating anybody because that's where people automatically go when you discuss what I would consider tough topics to discuss. This is a very tough topic because it's has to do with a person's preference and a person's experiences, which nobody can really tell a person about their experiences. And it's a very sensitive topic, and I understand that. However, I'm a traditionalist. People have the right to believe whatever they want. I'm a big live and let live person. And to me, I think a lot of people, specifically from the LGBT side of things, wants people to think about them and they don't consider other people. And it's quite strange because I thought they were crusaders for freedom and freedom of choice. And a lot of the times, it seems like their decisions aren't based off that. It seems like it's based off, you're going to like me, I said so, and this is why. Now, we have a large eclectic, if I could tune y'all eyes over to the screen here on the thumbnail, whether you're watching YouTube, Twitter, or StreamYard directly. We have an eclectic group of women. A lot of these women, I'm pretty sure, are actually really talented. Lori Harvey, she's a talented model. Barbie Hayden, talented wrestler, a good friend of mine. Paige Van Zant, great talent, knows how to book herself, knows how to promote herself. Nothing wrong with that. You have Kylie Jenner on the end, one of the top 4 influencers on Instagram, like almost 300 million subscribers, which is insane, or followers rather. Then at the end, you got the gorgeous Jemele Hill, who's a great sports commentator. Of course, you still got Kamala Harris and people like that, the current vice president of the United States. But one thing a lot of people forget about women is women say that men can't tell me what to do with my body. It's my body, my choice. I agree with you on all those things. However, you have to understand it's something called perception and how people look at you. Yeah, you can sit there and I'm this, I'm that. I'm the woman that wear my clothes. I say like a Jemele Hill, and I'm just throwing hypotheticals. I'm not saying any of these qualities belong to these people. I'm just being hypothetical. Jemele Hill, who's kind of she's gorgeous, but you can't put her in a box because she's beautiful. She just so happens to be beautiful. She's also a great, probably mom, a great wife. She's a great sportscaster. She's actually a woman actually know how to talk about sports, and they don't put her on there just because she's pretty. She has good play. She's a good pundit of a lot of different topics and things like that. Oh, how the hell can I forget the Queen Bee? Beyonce Knowles is on here as well. Great entertainer, philanthropist, entrepreneur, all these things. Kamala Harris, like all this. But what these women have to understand is, respectfully, what they have to understand is that when you go on a platform and start twerking and you're very well shaped, yes, you shouldn't be objectified. But you got to understand it's something called masculinity, which I'm very masculine, but I also know how to understand. I know when to be empathetic as well. I think I have a pretty good balance of both. But when you well built like a lot of these women and you going out and shaking your dunk, what you expect men to think? What do you expect men to think about you? And that's what poses our question, what's a woman in 2023? Because I feel like it's so much, it's a lack of clarity, and it's a lot of confusion going on because of pronouns and all that type of stuff. Now, you can call yourself whatever pronoun that you want to call you. But all I ask you to do is if you want to be called a woman, even if you transition from a man to a woman, at least appear like a woman so I won't be confused. I feel like that's pretty reasonable and rational. Now, my other co-host on the show, well, specifically, I'm not going to say other, Jason specifically, has a completely different opinion about this. And he say, it's mental and this and that. I'm going to keep my opinions on that to myself. But I would say I think the medium ground for us to get for everybody involved, specifically the LGBT community and the trans community and whatever people they consider the pronouns or woman. I think a healthy medium for everybody is kind of like making it easier for people to identify what you are. When you tell me one day this is your pronoun, the next day that pronoun, or phenotypically looking, when you have to understand, people are not trying to be hateful. People are not trying to be bigoted or closed-minded or whatever these adjectives that a lot of mainstream media tries to put on people to ask simple questions. What people have to understand is something called being confused. And what I mean by confused, hold on before everybody rage out. Hold up, wait, chill out before you quit and click off the video and say, all type of crazy stuff and misconceptions. What I mean by confused is, if to me, what my brain has always been taught to be called a man is on this gorgeous face. They got the makeover and all that. They look gorgeous, but they have a mustache and they have a wig and they didn't get their, the man part taken care of however they wanted to. That's probably called a gay person, or what we call a I don't know what the politically correct term or the correct term. We used to call them cross dressers, kind of like the because I know it's a difference between transgender, transsexual. I don't know if maybe cross-dressers considered offensive or a pejorative word. I don't know. But what I would think of back in the day when we think of those type of people, let's say you still got the mustache and you got on like a wig or, extensions, which I wear weave in my hair. I'm not to talk. I have cornrows. I have braids. It's mostly my hair, but of course the thickening process with the weave. So it's a little weave in my hair. But we used to call people like that, we used to call them RuPaul. We used to call them cross-dressers. So at times, what people have to understand is it's very confusing. Hey, Marissa, when you have that look, but you want me to call you a she or whatever pronoun. Some of these pronouns confuse the hell out of me. I don't know what a lot of this stuff even means, to be honest with you. Now, with Cyndi Lauper, what she got some heat at, and we're going to get into the Cyndi Lauper thing. What Cyndi Lauper got heat at was when she said denying a kid transgender surgery to transition to whatever gender they want to be considered is likened to Hitler in the concentration camp. Now, first of all, what Cyndi Lauper has to understand is using anything with Holocaust and Nazi and all that is automatically going to get you some heat. Go ask Kanye West, who's not being very intelligent. Go ask Kyrie Irving, who's not being very intelligent about this stuff right now. Cyndi Lauper, you've been out of the mainstream eye for a very long time. You came back randomly today, and people remember you for Girls Want to Have Fun, and probably she hasn't been overly relevant since like the late 80s. Let's just be honest. And this is not a good way to reintroduce yourself back into the limelight. I don't understand what she had to gain out of that. I didn't read the full article, nor did I really feel like I had to. Now, matter of fact, you know what? Let me just try to bring it up and see what they got here. Cyndi Lauper. I think I'm spelling her name right. Okay, here it is. Cyndi Lauper. Let's try to open this whole article up and let's dissect this. Somebody says Cyndi Lauper is wrong. Bizarre surgical experiments were Hitler. Yes, it was. Yeah, that was a strange comparison for her to liken that stuff to Nazi Germany. You have to be really careful when you even bring up Nazi Germany to begin with. You have to be very, because it's always, we know those people have a lot of influence over the media and all. You have to be very intelligent when you're building a brand, when you're talking about these people. Now, at times, are they overly sensitive? Yes. And y'all know who I'm talking about. I don't have to clarify. You know exactly who I'm talking about. So, and as I said, adults can do whatever they want, but when you use children or try to make children grow up a little too fast, be it male or female, doesn't matter to me. Children should grow up organically. If they decide that they want to be gay or, transgender or whatever the terms are now, all these terms, whatever LGBT letter they want to be, let them decide that when they're about 17, 18 years old. However, when they're 10, 8, 9, come on now. You already know a lot of people, specifically the Christian community and the more Orthodox religious, they're going to have a problem with that, as should they. It's something called adolescence. It's something called adulthood, and it's something called childhood. And when you make or put children in a situation like this, you automatically take their innocence away. Now, let's break down a couple things. A lot of people have a lot of different avenues, and I'm going to put the information out there for y'all to decide. I'm just reporting it. I've talked to a lot of different people. I've always been interested in people and human behavior. I work in law enforcement, It's probably why, because I'm interested in human interactions and psychology and sociology very much interesting in the way the human mind works. I've always been fascinated by that. And I'm saying that to say this. You would think a lot of the LGBT community will be able to empathize with children's innocence because a lot of their gateway and introduction to LGBT community was unfortunately due to being harassed by the opposite sex or sometimes sexually taken advantage of by the opposite sex. So that's innocence, just like you taking a child's natural ability to be a child and just wonder and play. It's a heavy trip to put on a kid their sexual identity. That is opening the gate for too many questions that they should not have to worry about at such a young age. A child's mind is still developing and is very malleable. So you have to be very careful with the type of information that you put in children's head. And I honestly think a lot of people from this particular community don't really consider that when they make these decisions about, children, trying to reduce the age. So when you're reducing the age of consent or reducing the age of when a kid can make a decision about sexual stuff, are we going to reduce the age of when an older man can date a little girl? Because I feel like that's in the same lane. I know to some people, specifically probably from the LGBT community, they think that's absurd, but let's think about this for a minute. Let's take our emotional head off and put our logical head on. How is it any different than us deciding what's too young? I'll give you my opinion, what I think is too young for dating. I think under 17 is too young. 16, maybe. If you're, I would say, if you and your boyfriend been dating since about freshman in high school and all y'all do is date regularly, I think 16 is a decent age to date at. That don't mean you should be having babies. 16, 17, 18 is young for a baby. I say when you get about 21, that's okay to have a baby. If you got your house in order and you're in love with the person that you're currently dating and you have a good support system like your parents or grandparents or somebody is supporting you and your particular spouse, that's fine. And most importantly, if y'all have a job. If y'all have jobs and y'all can stay at that job and it's a secure job, I'm not here to tell people when to raise a baby. I think 21 is a pretty fair age, especially if you're one of those people that decided that you're not going to college. I think 21 is a safe age to be able to, I want to have a baby. I'm happy with this person I'm with. We got our house in order. That's fine. But we don't want to get into a dangerous situation where we start reducing the age of what's considered consensual age with children, making specifically in this topic, making sex decisions. And I think Cyndi Lauper and a lot of women think from their trauma brain. And now I'm speaking to you more as a person that studies psychology. I went to school for psychology. And I'm a very deep thinker. And that's why a lot of my debates are rational. And it's hard to debate me if you're not a rational person. So let's take our emotional cap off for a minute. And I'm trying to be as accommodating as possible, not be insulting. Because a lot of people think we're that on this brand, but we're not. We just seek to understand. And I don't think that's irrational to seek to understand. What we have to keep in mind is a lot of these women that are crusaders or males that consider themselves feminists or gays that consider themselves feminists, we're going to call them this particular social group or this constituents. With this particular group of people, what you have to understand is some of their decisions are coming from a place of trauma. And we sympathize, empathize, we completely understand that. However, when is the left brain side part going to kick in when we say, what's too young for a kid to be thinking about sex? I feel like these are the more deeper conversations that we need to be dissecting and stop at the point of the emotional argument. Because where we are right now, an emotional argument is why we can't have discord on social media in real life right now. In 2023, you can't have discourse without somebody getting upset. I think that's something that we need to try to get back to. It's going to be quite a challenge because I think a lot of people are so stuck in their ways. And it don't help that it's a lot of outside forces that kind of instigate this type of behavior. So we have a hell of a lot of work to do as Americans and as a world at peace in general. And I think at times, specifically, I hate to try to single people out, but when something needs to be said or truthful, I'm going to say it. So what we have to understand is, or what the overall right versus left has to understand is, a lot of this negative, aggressive cancel culture is coming from the liberals. And a lot of the LGBTs, that's more of a liberal issue. So I feel like, is it coming from the left and some extreme people, Christians and stuff? Of course it is. But I feel like a lot of this extreme activity with to support the gays and not gays, but support the children getting transitions and all that, it's no age, live as thy will. A lot of that comes from the liberals. And a lot of them get upset when parents who grew up in a different time don't quite want that for their children. And you will think the LGBT community will understand struggle and strife, and they will extend that type of courtesy to other people, but that doesn't happen quite often. I come across so many people that claim to be a crusader and a social justice warrior for whatever type of cause, specifically the LGBT cause, and they don't extend that type of courtesy to oppressed black men, for example, which I'm part of that group, or people that just have a different opinion in them. And these are issues that need to be really ironed and worked out for us to go forward. This is not about attacking anybody. This is not about singling people out or you shouldn't be able to do this or not understanding you. It's simply about, actually, it's about understanding. I don't know how to address you as a person when you telling me to call you something different, or it's a new word, or it's a new pronoun. I think that's a bit unreasonable. And me and Jason and different people from our crew have gone back and forth with all this stuff. And I think it's pretty safe to say it's pretty unreasonable, because we have so much stuff to worry about in our real life and all this stuff that we don't have time to sit here and think about what your latest pronoun is. I'm sorry. It's not personal. It's just I got too much stuff going on. I'm sure a lot of other people got going on. I don't expect you to call me Prodigy in real life. You can call me TJ because that's actually my name. But when I'm not in my broadcasting mode or in creative mode, I don't talk to myself in third person. Call me Prodigy. Call me Crown this or that. Okay, that's a title you bestow on yourself as far as affirmation or for confidence reasons, but I don't expect nobody in real life to call me that. Only my fans online call me Prodigy. People in real life call me TJ. So I feel like that's kind of where we at with a lot of this stuff, and it needs to be addressed. And I think the only way for us to move forward is to have conversations and try to understand this stuff. Now, is it going to be people that completely, like I said, I'm a very unique person because I'm masculine. And I love women. I love sex. But at the same time, I'm willing to listen to somebody that have different opinions than me as long as it's not unreasonable. Now, it's people that's not going to even begin to try to understand why you're even gay or LGBT in the first place. Now, I think that's a bit closed-minded, generally speaking, or ignorant. No, you know what? Take that back. Most importantly, it's counterproductive, because I don't see any reason to purposefully antagonize anybody for their life choices. I just get a little tired of it always being in my face. I get a little tired of always having to feel like it's my burden to, bow to this group this way, that way. You know what I mean? Forget about what I got going on. Bow to some of my unreasonable demands. I think it's a bit much. It's a bit of a task. Now, I know we're jumping around a bit, but this is all connected. Now, let's go back to where people from this particular group or people from this group or that supports this particular group, where they run into issues and they contradict themselves. Now, all these women up here, just mainly for diversity. It's nothing personal against these particular individuals. I actually think they're all intelligent on different ways. And most importantly, they're great at marketing themselves, which anybody that know me, I come from the pro wrestling world and marketing and acting. I'm all about marketing and being an entrepreneur. I talk about this stuff all the time. I live my life in this way. Before I got on here, I was trading stocks and doing business stuff. So what people need to understand is, or what women in general, no matter if you're a celebrity, an everyday woman, an icon, however you are classified or people, receive you, identify you, what you have to understand is a lot of women don't do themselves favors by having a photo where they're half dressed, where they're saying respect me, but the camera is particularly tilted at their breasts or at their buttocks or at their whatever, at your curves. Like, nobody loves a beautiful woman more than the Prodigy. I love women. Other than food and nature, it's nothing God. When I mean nature, I mean trees, water, stuff like that. Nature's beautiful sky. It's nothing more beautiful than a woman, than an experience with a woman, especially somebody you really love, be it intimate love or platonic, how you say it? Platonic, you know what I mean? Friend love. Uh, it's nothing better than love. And one thing that's very upsetting to me, I feel like as a community and as a culture, we're getting very far away from love. And our corporations, as we go into more of uh a automation technology driven world, I feel like corporations have an agenda and they have a dog in the game, so to speak, skin in the game on trying to make people dislike each other. And that's kind of where we're at right now, unfortunately. We shouldn't be, but it's a lot of outside hands that are dictating male female relations in this country, and it's quite toxic and it's quite scary because it seems like it's a concerted effort to break down a traditional family, male female family. It seems like it's a like I said, it's an evil agenda at play. Like they don't want you to love. They don't want men and women to be with each other. Or if you're in the gay community, they're trying to combat love. But I'm gonna speak from a traditional standpoint because I'm a heterosexual male, of course. What even the LGBTQ plus community have to understand is it's a lot of division. They expect to divide y'all too. When I look at an issue, I look at the totality of an issue. I don't just look at it for, okay, yeah, this is what it is. No, I go deep into, and I always ask myself, what is the ultimate goal or whatever's being pushed by mainstream media? If you're a true revolutionary and a true truther and truth seeker, you will ask yourself these questions. And I feel like some people get too emotional. They don't really want to dig deep into issues because it contradicts their convictions or it contradicts, they don't want to work on changing a flaw about their thinking. I'm a very open-minded person, which is why I can talk about heavy topics like this and be able to ground it, but still kind of, have my opinion about it. Some people, like I said, they're not going to really do you justice, or they're not really going to want to even entertain what you're talking about. And like I said, I don't think that's totally fair, but you're going to run into people like that. You're not going to always get people that 100. Of course, it's a lot of men that are going to say, you know what I mean? They're going to scoff at you just being gay or you being queer or being an individual. I honestly don't care what people identify as. I always just say, just keep it rational. Keep it classy, keep it true to what you are. Like most women are beautiful in their own way. And I think a lot of people kind of forget that. But like I said, a lot of women don't really do themselves any favor by, okay, you got one foot in being I'm the queen, the essence of the earth, respect me. And then you got the other one turned towards the thought hole side. Like you got two different feet going to different doors. You know what I mean? And I think it needs to be a more of a healthy balance. Like I said, I'm all for a woman expressing herself. I like the Cardi B's and the Tiffany Haddish and the Nicki Minaj and the Amy Schumers. I understand that these women can be complex and beautiful in their own way. It's like it's no one definition of what's beautiful. Now, it's something called preference. I have my preferences: skin tones, height, weight. We all have that. But I honestly think a lot of different women are beautiful in their own way. That's why I try to put so much diversity on this thumbnail. And I think women need to realize that sometimes, like the whole thing with the body shaming and Lizzo. It's certain stuff that if you wear it, yeah, you could slay queen and I'm beautiful. And I agree, Lizzo's beautiful in her own way. However, it's certain things when you wear it that you're gonna offend certain people, and probably for good reasons. Like, it's not what she wear. I'm not one of the body shamers that, oh, she can't wear that because, her weight size. However, I have issues when you wear outfits where it could be a small woman and I'll have an issue with it. When you have your butt out, it's something called appropriate and inappropriate. I have issues with women that have their butt out when children are present, be at a public space or a sporting event, at a family reunion, whatever the case may be. Like, it's something called, once again, this goes back to innocence. It's certain things that children aren't supposed to be exposed to at a child's age. You're not supposed to be exposed to it until you're a teenager or like a late teenager. It's something called adolescence. And not only that, it's something that was called go to your room, adults are talking. And I feel like we're getting away with that. When you allow children like Cyndi Lauper was talking about to, because I'm trying to rationalize and make sense of this and make it like a practical and a solution that benefits everybody. I can disagree with Cyndi Lauper, but if she want to live her life that way, I'm going to try to, give what I think is advice. Like, when you have to ask yourself, what is too young of an age? Is such thing as too young? Like, you can't give kids under the age of 15, really. Because I know when kids start getting 15, 16, yeah, you can raise them right, but they start having a mind of their own. They start trying to sneak around. Because I also think too much control can drive your kid to doing misdeeds as well. This is something that we have to be very socially aware of, that even being too controlling can drive your children away and make them go buck wild. Like, it has to be a healthy balance when you're raising a child. So don't be too strict, but be more benevolent, where you reward when you do something good, and you it's a consequence when you do something bad. I feel like that is the best way. And when I say consequence, I don't mean beat your child. I'm talking about you lose privileges that you would have got if you were doing what you're supposed to do. That's what I mean by consequences. So we have to be very aware and cognizant of these particular things. Like, it's a such thing as too young. It's not about being offending people or about not understanding somebody. It's just we have to have principles and laws in order to keep things on track. And I feel like at times these aren't really considered. A lot of these things aren't really considered that well. I'm gonna go ahead and show my sexy face and take my hood off. So a lot of these things aren't considered when we're talking about what's in the best interest of children. And I think women, or particularly anybody that's the crusaders for this type of LGBT, like I said, I think they don't think so much with the left. They think more with the right brain. Emotional, my trauma. You don't understand my story. Yeah, we get all of that. We understand all that. But I think it's a disconnect somewhere as it relates to selling this to a more traditional, or trying to discuss it in a way where it benefits everybody. I think a lot of times that's lost in translation. I honestly think it is. Let me see if I put light on here and it shows more of my hair. Yeah, I think at times those type of things get lost in the shuffle with the emotionalism and the arguing, and a lot of that stuff gets lost in translation. So I think, to put a cap on this, Cyndi Lauper, I totally disagree with you. You have the right to your opinion. I totally disagree. And I totally disagree with people that think like Cyndi Lauper, because I believe in the more traditional way of raising a child. You can raise your child if you want, and I'm raising my child the way I would like to, even though I don't have a child yet. But I think a lot more care and tact needs to really be considered in situations like this. And I like I said, I feel like at times it's not. And it's a such thing as too young for a child to make any type of sexual, be it heterosexual or homosexual or whatever type of non-binary, whatever type of sexual decision. I think it comes a time where you kind of got to let that kind of organically take care of itself, so to speak. And I don't think that's happening a lot right now. So yeah, we're going to put a cap on that. Something I wanted to do originally with this Wife Wednesday is show some gorgeous people I like. I love Paige VanZant. Shout out to Paige VanZant. People dislike her, whatever. She's cute, blah, blah, blah. She shouldn't have been a UFC. She knows how to market herself. I respect marketers. Barbie Hayden. Big friend of mine from the wrestling world. Love Barbie Hayden. Shout out to JC Jane and Gigi Dolan. Those women, man, they tore the house down last night. Shout out to Beyonce Knowles for always being an entrepreneur. Lori Harvey for doing her thing. The Kardashians. I don't keep up with them, or I don't watch their show. But hey, anybody that really know me, know that I'm always going to boss up. I'm always going to. I respect somebody's hustle. I'm not gonna ever tell you not to get no cheese. I'm not gonna ever tell you not to be a hustler. That's not me, because I'm a hustler. So I still feel like you gotta have principles. But it's a way to debate and issues, tough issues, and everybody get a desirable result, even if that's just agreeing to disagree. I feel like that's a healthy medium a lot of people should have. But yeah, I'm always gonna say get your paper. I'm not a hater like that. But women, I will say this: y'all need to be a lot more realistic about. Let's just talk for a minute about the men y'all expect. If you're chasing a man for money, you setting yourself up to fail. You cannot buy happiness. I'm pretty sure you heard that before. I know a lot of people think they can, or at least you can't buy permanent happiness. You probably can buy short-term happiness, but you cannot buy long-term happiness. It's unrealistic. Because like all the beauty and the money that can go away. Your spirit, your love, your commitment, that's there if y'all made that decision with each other. I feel like actual non-material love is always going to outweigh. It's, to me, it's nothing more romantic and priceless than walking in the park, riding a bike with each other, making lunch and eating, sitting at the park, or sitting out in the forest, or collecting your thought, or going to a class, doing something y'all like together, be it health goals, or educational goal, or trying to get something off the ground, like a project or something like that. Like, you have to be your spouse's best friend before you could be in a good relationship with them. Y'all gotta love each other intellectually first. Like, sex and physical stuff, hugging and all that, that's great. That's a transfer of positive energy, especially if you walk in light like I try to, and a lot of other people around me try to. All of that stuff is cool, but like, that's all material stuff. Like, what if you're handicapped? And what if your spouse get handicapped? You still can talk to them and encourage them that life isn't over. Like, you still got to be able to tell a joke. Let's lead a more extreme end of the spectrum. Let's say you want somebody that you can enjoy life with. Like, they're funny, they can crack a joke, they won't get offended, they won't get triggered at certain stuff. That's what I mean by a best friend. You got to be able to make each other laugh. You got to be able to text each other at any part of the day, something inspirational. Oh, I was just thinking about you. This made me think of you. This GIF, or this comedy clip, or whatever the case may be. This quote or this lyric. Like, that's what true love is. And I feel like I said, it's a lot of hands in a pot that's trying to prevent this. I think it's a concerted effort to stop natural love. I feel like a lot of corporations are trying to do this, and it's crazy, but it's clear that's what's going on right now. And unless you're being really aware and being on your square a lot, I mean, you're going to get bombarded with this shit, honestly. But like, as I said, it's nothing more beautiful than a woman. When you're in love with the woman, we all on the same page. So find love, man. At the end of the day, I like to always end something with positivity. Find love, but women, give us something to work with. Please don't be hypocritical. Like I said, I like all these women on for different reasons. I've grown. I love Jamel Hill because I'm a sports person, and she actually knows how to intelligently talk about sports and good topic. I like what she provides. She's a good content creator. And all these other women got their success for different reasons, the Beyoncés and the Jenners and all that. Some people probably think they're airheads or they don't deserve. They got off only on looks. When you say somebody only got there because of what, you're only going off what you see. You don't know all the grind, the blood, sweat, and tears behind the scenes that they put in the emotional distress that they. Now, do I think women get preferential treatment in a lot of venues and a lot of spaces? Of course they do. And I address it when it happens. Like, I'm going through some stuff right now with Twitch where they said one of my pictures was inappropriate, where a woman had on a bikini and she was clearly covering the first part of her body, but they allow women to be half naked on Twitch all the time. Like, come on, man. But I haven't had the chance to talk about them with that. Maybe tomorrow. In the next few days, I'm going to have to chop it up with Twitch. Even if I got to publicly expose them. Dude, we going to be fair or for everybody, or nobody's going to be taught fair. It's called equality. And I feel like at times it's easier because a woman don't have to have a whole lot of like skill to get a lot of followers like on social media. They just don't. Like, all I gotta do is be gorgeous, which, don't get me wrong, being gorgeous is something, but if you don't have no sustenance or you don't have no substance to what you're talking about, I'm not gonna be interested for very long. And like, women say, oh, you objectifying me for my body. What else are you offering me? Are we having an interesting conversation? Are you know what I mean, talking about goals? Are you talking about what we could possibly build in a relationship? Like, all these things matter. Like, I know society convinces people today that a lot of this stuff don't matter, but like, come on, man. Like, you have to be realistic. You're gonna be around somebody. If you marry them, y'all goal is to, through thick and thin, through strength and through health and the depth and all that type of stuff. So if you're gonna be with somebody pretty much most of your life, y'all have to have some variety, or it's gonna get, the flame is gonna flame out quickly. Y'all gonna grow to resent each other. Like, these are things that you have to be realistic about relationships. And I think the reason that the divorce rate in the United States is so high is because people go into relationships with unrealistic expectations. Once again, it goes to money. He was cute, superficial stuff. You know what I mean? Of course, you need money. Money, you can't do anything without money. And for the people that think you can, you're being totally, totally unrealistic. You cannot do anything without money. Not nothing. You can't sustain much without money. Let's be honest. You just can't. Um, so yeah, go into relationships with realistic goals. Like Kevin Samuels was not the best. I actually grew up with a friend, very similar, ex-friend that was similar to Kevin Samuels. But I mean, he had women. Somebody was listening to what he was talking about. I grew up with a lot of people with very similar mentalities. But I feel like it takes a Mac. You gotta be able. And another thing, guys, what y'all gotta understand with women are very delicate beings. Like they tend to be emotional. Not all of them, but a majority of them. So, like, things that you say to them is not going to always have a logical response. Sometimes you got to step away from the situation, breathe, go for a run, come back. Now, if it persists, maybe it's time for y'all to move on. Like, if it's consistent arguments in a relationship, that means y'all shouldn't be in a relationship. If y'all cannot be happy around, relationships are not supposed to be complicated. Like, everything else in life is complicated. Your home life is not supposed to be complicated. That's the one. That's supposed to be your solace. That's supposed to be your castle. That's supposed to be the one place you can go and actually be at peace. And like, once again, is powers that be and hands at play that try to disrupt that type of energy with positivity at home. Keep plants around you, keep incense, keep fresh air coming through your window, keep sunlight. Like, you got to combat all this evil energy that's around us. I'm a big advocate for love. And what we about to go into now, I know it's going to seem hypocritical. We're about to honor some women in their nice bodies. I'm going to try to give 10 women today a new shout out. This is something I would like to do every week if I can. Check out some new women content and see if I can bring some new eyeballs to them. And hopefully in return they at least say hi or thank you or some shit. You know what I mean? So yeah, let's get this going. Let's see. Let's tag this up for more people can see this. Let's see. Trending now. Hot. Let's see what women is hot women trending. What's trending with hot water, hot wings. All right. Let's see what else. Instagram. Boom. Yeah, let's try to, shout out to Barbie Hayden, my homie. I'm gonna tag Barbie Hayden in this. Paige Van Zant. I still think that's a cool last name. Kylie Jenner. I don't know a whole lot about the Jenners, but man, shout out to them for being hustlers. I mean, you can, you know, ain't nothing wrong with getting no bacon. Lori Harvey. Yeah. If she even got a Twitter, Lori Harvey. Look, who else we got on here? So yeah, we're gonna do that with that. So yeah, let's show these women some love before we get up off here. I don't know who this is. Let's see what she's working with. Let's see if she's worth giving a shout out to. She look all right. Kind of got the petite style. Not really my style, but that's the first person that popped up for the people that like it. I do not know how to pronounce her name, but this is her name right here. Let's see. Now she know how to work it. That's camera presence right there, baby. Yeah, she's in Dubai. Nice. I don't know how her face look, but I like that pose. Shout out to Elnita VT. If it looks like a real account. No, then again, well, she might be kind of new because she only got 18 posts. But even if that's a stock photo, man, that's a good shot. She's gorgeous. She kind of looks like Tate Conti. That's more my style. I don't know if she's in Miami or where she's at, but that's beautiful. I love this. That's man, and I like that look too. She's got the Brazilian look. That's kind of my style right there. I love that. Check her out. Vasilgraham.fans. This might be no, she got a bunch of posts, 600. That's probably a real account. Yeah, I like that one. Let's do international flavor. Who's this one right here? She looks decent. Yeah, she posed pretty good. How good of that account? 1,200 posts. She looked like she's from Asia, East Asia or something. Soline Yoga Phuket, Indian or something like that, maybe. Let's see what else we got here. It's a pretty good shot. Who this is? Beautiful hot women topic. So this kind of more of an eclectic. I don't know who this particular woman is. That might be a fake. We're gonna scroll past that one. Let's see what else we got here. She's like decent built. That butt might be fake, but it sits on her properly. Like I actually like the way that looks on her. Yeah, that looks pretty decent on her. So we'll shout her out. Her name is Blue Stamp of Approval. Is that actually her? No, that's more of a sorry. We don't know who the hell you are, so you don't count. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, 2 times the fun. That's under the same category though. Beautiful topics. Uh, man, Aaliyah from WWE. She's hot, man. She's cute. Now that's natural beauty right there. That's a cute woman. She wearing that dress pretty good. SL Diva in I'm trying to make sure I'm not trying to open no porn by accident. SL Diva in frocks. So check that out. Her name is Amy Fernandez. I think that's her. Let's see. Amy Fernandez, you just got a follow from me. You're gorgeous. This is my Instagram, by the way. That we're looking at. Okay, let's see what else we got. Oh man. Let's see what else we got that looks good. A lot of average lookers. Like, see, this is a cheap ploy right here. Like, don't put your tits out there. Like, come on now, at least have some talent. Oh no, we gotta take that down before I get copyrighted. See, that's cheap shit right there. Yeah, come on now. She's posing pretty decent too. She looks kind of similar to her. Who's this? Yeah, that's under the same category. Yeah, see, these be like, come on now, y'all know what y'all be doing. Now that's nice. That looks pretty organic and normal. We'll give her a shout out. Brothel Seeker. Oh man. Okay, never mind. We can't get into that one right there. What else we got here? I like that pose. I gotta see that face though. She looks decent. She looks kind of like a spicy, feisty one right here. Oh no, that say she-male. Oh no, hell no. We out of this jam. Oh, hell to the no. Who's this one? Make sure this ain't no she-male. That's under beautiful hot top. She looked like Peyton Royce. Oh, iconic. That's who she looked like. Casey Lee. Or Cassie, whichever one. She kind of got like the Kardashian energy going on. See what else we got here. What are we at on time? Okay, maybe we'll do another couple minutes. Let's scroll through this kind of quickly. A lot of these women look kind of artificial, man. I miss women just having natural beauty. If you small, you small. If you thick, if you got like love handles, you got stretch. Hey, stretch marks on a woman can be sexy too. I don't know who told women that stretch marks not sexy. I can get down with some stretch marks. I don't mind stretch marks. Let's see what we got here. I might be getting to the gym late today, probably at like 8, which means I can't eat nothing real heavy. Or within the hour, yeah, because I'm waiting for that riffraff. It'd be too fucking crowded in the gym. Wait for some of that riffraff to calm down. Maybe I'll leave around 7ish. So yeah, let's see what we got here. Oh man, I don't know what she did to her face, but that is not popping, homie. She's frowning like a mug. Did somebody say camel? Let's see what else we got here. That's some decent makeup she applied on her. Optro girls, top girls on now. What's up with all these accounts that look phony looking? What happened to the normal account? She looked pretty decent. Is that under the same one? Yeah, that's under the same. I'm gonna need y'all to have some individual accounts, y'all. What the hell is going on? She's cute. She's kind of got like the Middle Eastern. That's a cute girl. WB Yasmin. Shout out to her, even though she's probably young as fuck. I'm sorry, not young, but she's a new page. She don't really got a whole lot of stuff on there. She looks all right. How real is this account, though? That might not be a real account. She looks all right, though. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, like you're going to attract a lot more men, women with like organic photos, like non-copyrighted stuff. But all right, yeah, this is getting a little long, man. Like I said, I hope y'all enjoy it. It's TJ Time 1991 on Twitter, TJ the Prodigy on YouTube. If you want to comment, hit me up on Twitter at it's TJ Time 1991. Go check out Poggers. I got the promotional code Prodigy's Poggers. Get yourself a shaker. If you're a gym person, I encourage you to go to the gym. Why wouldn't you want to go to the gym? Gym life is healthy. I'm going to the gym in a little while myself. Gym life is healthy. It makes you feel better. It sucks when you first go, you sore and all that. But once you get over that hump, gym life is awesome. You got to keep in mind, if you're trying to date somebody, going to the gym is a good first step. A, you might meet somebody at the gym that you're looking for. And B, men love masculine or femininity and women love masculinity. You're likely to turn some heads when you're in great shape. So keep that in mind. So get yourself a shaker over at Progs. progress. Mine is, it should be, I think, in the next few hours it'll be here. Prodigy Poggers. Make sure you get yourself one. Use that code, get 10% off. Once you let me know about that code, hit me up on Twitter at it's TJ Time 1991. Once you use that code to get your 10% off, and I'll shout you out on here. Say thank you, all that good stuff. And yeah, y'all keep being awesome. As I said, Red Bull Monster, man. Y'all want to support us. The channel keep growing every day, especially on YouTube. And so yeah, Combat Sports got two of the best correspondents on air right now when it comes to sports. Go win yourself some money. Coach's Corner every Friday. JoJo and Mike break down everything MMA and how to bet and all those things. So go check them out over there. I'll check y'all out soon on the next video. Go check out the other videos. I talked about how WWE can improve WrestleMania, the new stars that's up and coming, that got a lot of talent, the gorgeous women, the talented men. It's a lot to talk about. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bless y'all families. And, man, I hope somebody learned something from this video. Let's go forward with our thinking, man. Be smooth. Peace out.